I landed the biggest raise of my life, plus 35%. And 2 years later, on that dream salary, I had less money saved than the year I was broke. Nobody warned me. One night, I typed a question into my search bar. Why earning more hadn't made me richer? One phrase kept coming back: lifestyle inflation. I'll show you exactly how it trapped me, step by step. The night it was announced, we celebrated. Restaurant, a $90 bottle, a round for the whole table. I was finally earning what I was worth. I felt untouchable. The next day, everything shifted without me seeing it. 3 months in, I checked my account. The salary increase had landed, but the extra money? Gone, vanished, as if my income had never gone up at all. Where had it all gone? I kept repeating one line: I can afford it now. It sounded like freedom. Every purchase felt earned. After all, I'd just started making more. Who wouldn't have done the same? And that's when I sensed there was a kind of invisible thermostat in my life, an automatic setting I had never touched. Every extra dollar pushed it higher, and I didn't even know it existed. It started with the apartment. The old one was perfectly fine, but with $35,000 more a year, staying there felt almost embarrassing. So I signed for a bigger place, $600 more in rent every month. A bigger apartment means bigger furniture, a new couch, a TV, custom curtains. In one weekend, $4,000 gone. An investment in my comfort, I told myself. In truth, the trap was already closing. I invited everyone over. Nice place, Richie. Those words, I wanted more of them. Without knowing it, I'd just set a new standard, the one my friends now expected of me. No way back down. The first statement from the new place landed. Rent, furniture, utilities, insurance, nearly double the old one. My salary had climbed 35%. My cost of living, though, had jumped far more. How was that even possible? The strangest part? It never felt like a decision. Moving felt normal, logical. What a guy who made it deserved. Nobody wakes up one morning thinking, today I'll sabotage my future. What I couldn't see yet was that the apartment was only the first domino. One upgrade caused the next, and the next one was already waiting for me, parked in my office lot, brand new. The car. Mine ran just fine, but a coworker had picked up a new SUV. 2 weeks later, I was signing for mine, $780 a month, for a commute I was already making, in a car I already had. Then it all snowballed. Premium gym, 3 streaming platforms, meal delivery, the watch I deserved. Each one $15, $40, $60. Nothing serious on its own, but nothing ever stays on its own. My outings changed too. No more corner bar. Now it was $50 brunches, weekend trips, pricier gifts. My circle lived at a certain level. Keeping up wasn't a luxury anymore. It had become the baseline. One night, my card was declined at a restaurant. Not for lack of money, for lack of checking. Too many charges, too many dates. I couldn't even remember what I'd subscribed to. At a record income, I'd lost control. I reassured myself fast. It's the setup phase, just settling in. It'll stabilize. Except it never stabilized. Every time I caught my breath, a new expense took the empty seat. So one night, I decided to stop guessing. I pulled 12 months of statements and a highlighter. I was going to add up every increase, one by one. What I found knocked the wind out of me. I highlighted every new expense since my raise. The extra rent, the car, the subscriptions, the outings. Line after line, an orange column grew down the page, and it wouldn't stop. I added it up, $1,900 more a month. Then I worked out what my raise had actually brought me. After taxes, the same number, $1,900, to the dollar, as if someone had done it on purpose. I went back in time. My 3 previous raises. Every single time, the same pattern. The following month, a new expense absorbed the increase exactly, like it was preset, like it was programmed. And there, an uncomfortable truth. It wasn't greed. I didn't want more. It rose on its own, without me choosing it, as if an invisible hand set my spending for me. Whose hand? The worst part was the drift. What I now called my fixed costs, car, dining out, subscriptions, used to be rare luxuries. Yesterday's special treat had become my bare minimum, without me ever noticing. And one thought froze me. If my spending always locked onto my paycheck, then a future raise would change nothing. It would rise. They would rise. I'd never get ahead, no matter how much I earned. Fast forward 2 years. I was earning $124,000, double my first real salary, and yet a $1,000 surprise still sent me into panic, just like before. Exactly like before. When I was broke at $40,000, I stressed about money. Today, at three times that, I stress the same. Same anxiety, bigger numbers. So tell me, what's the point of a raise if the anxiety never drops? My savings rate? The same as when I started, 0 point something. I doubled my income and kept the same proportion, almost nothing. The amount went up, the percentage stayed nailed to the floor, and I realized I was stuck. My life cost exactly what I earned. I couldn't go lower without visibly losing everything, or higher without it climbing again. A cage sized to my salary. Who had built it? I could have kept lying to myself, blaming prices, inflation, bad luck, but I'd had enough. I wanted to understand the exact mechanism holding me, not an excuse, an explanation, the real one. Then one detail hit me. A junior on my team, paid half as much as me, had just put a down payment on a house. Me, I couldn't. The answer wasn't in our salaries. It was somewhere else, and I was going to find it. I invited him to lunch, not to judge him, to understand. This guy drove a 10-year-old pickup, ate from a lunchbox, wore no labels, and he was at peace. That intrigued me more than it should have. His line floored me. Every time I got a raise, I acted like it didn't exist. I kept living, like a student, simple, almost dumb, and yet it was exactly what I had never done. For him, every raise went straight to savings before it touched his daily life. His standard of living stayed frozen, while his wealth swelled. For me, it was the exact opposite. My life swelled, my wealth stayed at zero. On the way home, I did the math that hurts. On equal income over 10 years, keeping his lifestyle, I'd have had 6 figures saved. Instead, I had furniture losing value. How had I seen none of it? I finally had a name for my problem: lifestyle inflation, the mechanism that pushes my spending up every time I earn more. My coworker had neutralized it effortlessly. I still had to understand how it actually worked. That night, staring at my walls, an image came to me. An ordinary object in my own home that did exactly what my money did. An object I set without thinking. Once I saw it, I could never unsee it. Here's what I understood that night. In my head, there was a set point. The standard of living I considered still was not near that, normal. And that level set itself automatically on one single input: my income. A thermostat doesn't heat more when you turn the dial up. It holds the temperature you set. My money did the same. Every raise lifted the set point. My spending climbed to meet it. The gap stayed at zero, forever. That changed everything. Lifestyle inflation wasn't a willpower flaw. I wasn't weak or reckless. I just had a thermostat set to spend whatever you earn. The setting was the problem, not me. And you, listening to me, think back to your last salary increase. Where did the money go? If you can't answer in 10 seconds, your thermostat already swallowed it. You just didn't see it. The most vicious part: this thermostat is invisible. Nobody sees it rise. We call it improving your life, enjoying a little, treating yourself. So many polite words for one single mechanism, the set point creeping up. I thought I had the fix. Just tighten up. Less spending, more willpower, a strict budget. I was more motivated than ever. I set it all up on Monday. The result, 3 weeks later, humiliated me. The first week I held. Coffee at home, packed lunches, 0 pointless buys. I felt strong, powerful. I even logged every dollar spent. I was sure I'd finally taken back control. Then life resumed. A birthday, a breakdown, a night out I couldn't miss. Every exception felt legitimate, and one by one, they reopened the door I'd spent so much energy shutting. 3 weeks. That's all my willpower lasted. By month's end, my spending had snapped back exactly to its old level. The thermostat had reset on its own, like a spring you let go. I'd changed nothing at all, and I finally got my mistake. I was fighting the thermostat with willpower. But willpower runs out. The thermostat doesn't. A setting always beats an effort. I didn't need to fight harder. I needed to unplug the machine. The lesson was brutal but freeing. If I couldn't trust myself every day, I had to build a system that didn't need me. One automatic rule, decided once, that my weakness could never touch again. So I designed one rule, simple, radical, a rule that made lifestyle inflation literally impossible without demanding any willpower from me. The next day, I set it up in 5 minutes. Let me show you. One rule: never let a raise reach my checking account. The day my paycheck went up, an automatic transfer sent the entire increase to a separate account I never looked at. The idea fit in one line: live on my old salary, not the new one. If I never saw the document, extra money my thermostat couldn't climb. You don't spend what you never feel arrive. I made it all automatic, transfer on payday. Before I touched anything, no willpower to spend, no monthly decision. The machine paid my future first, me last. Then I calculated where that untouchable account led. That surplus, invested every month for 20 years, didn't make a small. It made six figures, maybe seven. The same money that used to evaporate in forgotten subscriptions. The wildest part? My day-to-day life barely changed. Same apartment, same friends, same coffees. I wasn't living worse. I was just living at the level I already had, without letting the bar climb again. My system was running, easy as long as nothing moved. But a few months later, my boss called me in. Another raise was coming. The real test of my rule was starting now, and my old reflex was already wide awake. Number error, formula parse error. And then I stopped dead. One question cut through me. Is it me who wants this car, or my thermostat? The same urge that had wrecked me 2 years earlier. The same voice, exactly the same. I put the keys back down. I opened the app, and I sent the $9,000 to the untouchable account before it could warm up my thermostat. 30 seconds. The most profitable decision of my life, made sitting down. Nothing had changed in my life that night. Same car, same apartment, same me. Except one thing. For the first time, a raise had stayed. It hadn't evaporated. And that small gap was about to change everything. The second time, it was easier. The third, automatic. My thermostat was frozen at its level. Every following raise went straight to my future without passing through my wants. The system had taken my place. I'd beaten the machine, but there was a price I hadn't seen coming. Not a price in dollars, a price paid in other people's eyes. And that was going to be far harder to take than I thought. Nobody claps for the car you didn't buy. People asked why I was depriving myself when I earned. Well, nobody saw the account that was quietly growing in the background. Some nights, the doubt came back. What's the point of earning more if I live like before? The thermostat whispered to be switched back on. And one night, hand on my savings account, I almost undid it all. So I looked at the total. In 18 months, without giving up the essentials, the untouchable account showed $31,000. $31,000 the old Richie would have burned without even noticing. And I understood what I was really looking at. Not money, options, the power to say no, to walk away, to wait. Every dollar kept was a piece of freedom nobody could see or take from me. The lesson fit in one line. It's not your salary that makes you rich. It's the gap between what you earn and what you live on. A big salary with no gap is just a more comfortable cage. A year later, something happened I'd thought was impossible for someone like me. Without earning more, without a lottery, just with a frozen thermostat. Let me show you what it really changes. Today, I earn barely more than 3 years ago, but my thermostat is locked. I live well without excess, and for the first time in my life, I have a year of expenses set aside, a year of freedom. The coworkers who laughed at my old car, they earn more than me, and they're still one surprise away from disaster. Bigger salary, same anxiety. They never unplugged their thermostat. So here's what I'd do in your place. At your next raise, change nothing about your life. Nothing. Send the whole increase automatically where you can't see it. Leave your thermostat exactly where it is. Because lifestyle inflation doesn't steal your money. It steals your future choices. Every automatic upgrade is an exit door you close yourself without noticing. One by one. You don't need to earn more to start. You need a gap. Freeze your set point once, and the next raise won't evaporate. It'll become the first brick of your freedom. Your salary decides how you look. Your gap decides when you'll be free. I kept mine at 0 for years. Today it's growing, and yours can start this month. Before you go, one honest question. Your last raise, where did it go? If you don't know, your thermostat ate it. Run the test this month. Send the next raise elsewhere before you feel it. Tell me in the comments if you can hold the line. I read every one. And if you think freezing your lifestyle is enough, wait until you see who actually handled money best, today's you or the broke you from 10 years ago. The answer will surprise you. Subscribe so you don't miss it.